Layer skirt. Lay the brown sheet on the drafting table. First layer. 0 to 1 is 1/3 of skirt length, that is 21 centimeters. 0 to 2 is 2 times of waist round, that is 150 centimeters. 3 to 1 is same as 0 to 2. Square out vertically and horizontally from 0. Square down from 2 and mark 3. Draft the second layer and third layer of the skirt as the pattern shown in the beginning. Cutting. Cut the components and pin all layers together. Layer skirt stitching. Prepare 3 separate layers by attaching joins. Make gathers by stitching long seams and pull it slightly one side of thread. Tack second layer with bottom of first layer in the sides. Adjust the width of second layer with first layer by gathering the fabric. Join the second layer with first layer by making gathers. Tack second layer with the bottom of the first layer in the sides. Finish the raw edges in the wrong side with overlock stitch. Join the 2 side edges through the side seam line. Fold the bottom of the skirt and stitch it. Cut the waistband elastic with required length and join the ends as round. Fix the elastic at the waist. Set the elastic inside of the hip of the garment. Fold the end of the extension piece by 1 centimeter. Fold and cover the cloth and tack it into the hip round. Tack full round of the hip. Now, the elastic will be covered by the fabric. Set the elastic band covered by the fabric by equal gathering. Stitch the elastic with a fabric around the hip round.
Tops. Top is specifically a garment with vertical openings and with bottoms, covering shoulders either without sleeves or with short sleeves.
Tops 1. Drafting and cutting. Prepare pattern according to the draft and instruction. Cut the excess brown sheet to get the master pattern of tops 1. Layout and cutting. Lay the fabric on the cutting table on widthwise folding with wrong side facing. Arrange the master pattern of ladies' tops economically without wasting the fabric. Mark the outline. Tops 1. Stitching. Stitch and finish the darts in front and back on the wrong side. Join the shoulder lines of front and back part with plain seam. Prepare the sleeve with cuff. Mark 10 cm long line on center of sleeve and slash. On the top edge, turn 0.5 cm twice on the wrong side. Taper towards the clip side and machine stitch. Bring facing out on the right side of the sample piece and turn the raw edge of facing by 1 cm. Roll over the facing, make a fold on the center line, turn the corners and form a peak at the center of the placket end. Finish the placket end as in two-piece placket. Place cuff pattern over fusing and cut low pieces. Place fusing piece on wrong side of the material. Turn the longer edge of seam allowance inside. Baste and stitch. Fold cuff on center line, right sides together. Baste and stitch from fold side, leaving 2 mm unstitched at the folded edge and lock the stitch. Turn the cuff inside out. The difference between cuff length and sleeve bottom is the measurement for two pleats. Prepare first side pleat at side seam. Turn the cuff unit up, stitch 2 mm away from edge along sleeve bottom and cuff. Lock the stitch and press. Attach the sleeve to armhole with shirt sleeve method. The center of sleeve and shoulder seam and pin sleeve to armhole. Baste and stitch. Then stitch in one continuous seam from bottom of the garment to bottom of the sleeve. Prepare the open collar. Attach the collar to the neckline. Place the underside of the collar right side of body part together, leaving 1.25 centimeters from the front edge. Baste collar with neckline up to the shoulder seam. Turn the facing from both sides on the center front line over the collar and stitch from one end to the other end of the neckline. Cut and stitch to buttonholes on right front. Take top left side, mark buttonhole position. Overcast the raw edges of the slit by hand with a single thread, keeping 3 stitches per centimeter and length of 2 millimeters. Take the stitches close side by side at a regular distance, maintaining even tension in each stitch. Attach sew-through buttons by hand. Take tops fronts right side. Mark button position at regular intervals. Hold the fabric by left hand and insert the needle from right side of the fabric at mark right angled to the fabric. Bring needle through the button from one hole and back into the fabric by the other hole and pull the thread. Bring needle from the underside of the fabric through the remaining holes of the button. Repeat the step 4 more times. Attach one button crosswise. Finish and press the garment. Tops 2. Drafting and cutting. Prepare pattern according to the draft and instruction. Cut the excess brown sheet to get the master pattern of tops. Layout and cutting. Arrange the master pattern of tops economically without wasting the fabric. Cut along the marking line with sharp shears. Tops 2 stitching. Take back body part to stitch tucks. Fold first tuck on fold line exactly on the grain and stitch at a distance of 0 to 1 centimeter. Stitch tucks on the front parts. Join back with back part and front with front part on the wrong sides. Give top stitch at the front side. Prepare Peter Pan collar. Join the shoulder lines of front and back part with plain seam. Fold the sleeve bottom and stitch it. Attach the sleeve to armhole with shirt sleeve method. Attach the collar to the neckline. Place the collar on the neckline of bodies, matching wrong side of collar with right side of bodies together. On both ends of center back, leaving overlap of 1.25 centimeters from center back and baste. Place bias strip of 2 centimeters width over the collar along the neckline baste and stitch on the seam allowance line. Turn the bias strip inside, press flat on wrong side of bodies, turn inside raw edge by 0.5 centimeters, baste and finish with hand slip stitches. Fold the bottom of top and stitch it. Finish and press the tops.
Maxi is an overall garment made from the shoulder to the ankle. This garment can either be in one piece or can be joined along the waistline.
Drafting and cutting. Paper pattern drafting. Prepare pattern according to the draft and instruction. Cut the pattern with added seam allowance to get the master pattern of maxi. Layout and cutting. Arrange the master pattern of maxi economically without wasting the material. Mark the outline of all maxi components as laid with tailor's chalk. Cut along the marking line with sharp shears. Maxi stitching. Body part. Blouse placket. Take placket and back pieces. Take one piece of placket and fold it lengthwise, wrong sides together. Place the raw edge of folded strip along the center edge of right front piece on right side. Stitch on seam line. Turn the placket piece flat by 180 degrees and make edge stitch on the placket piece along the previous seam. Turn the placket piece inside the back piece. Finish the placket. Place the other placket piece matching right sides of placket and left front along the center front line and baste. Stitch on the marked seam line. Turn the other edge of placket piece by 0.75 centimeters on its wrong side press. Turn again the placket piece over the previous seam, wrong side, stitch from right side in the crevice of previous seam. Take front center and side piece, right sides matching together. Baste it on the armhole to bottom. Join the princess seams on both sides. Finish the neck with bias facing. Join the sleeve with armhole. Check measurements of armhole and sleeve head. The curved edge of the satin sleeve measures 1 centimeter to 1.5 centimeters more than the armhole circumference. Set 2 rows of each stitches on the sleeve crown. Pin, baste and stitch on the underarm seam line. Press open seam allowance. Start seaming from underarm with the sleeve side up. Overlap few stitches at the end. Join the belt piece to the body part with a plain seam. Stitch the waistline by joining the skirt to the belt with a plain seam. Turn bottom of skirt and stitch.
Students, so far we have seen 17 different exercises from Tailor Ladies Volume 1. I hope you have enjoyed the program. I wish you a very good luck and see you all in the next program.
Tailor Ladies Volume 2 Sector Garment Making. Hello students, this video instructional program is the second volume of Tailor Ladies Trade. In the first volume, we have seen different types of sleeves, collars, necklines, skirts, tops, maxis with 17 exercises. In this volume, we have exercises of drafting, cutting, and stitching of 13 different types of salwar and kameez. Let us now move on to the first exercise of this program. Exercise number 18 and 19, Punjab Salwar, drafting, cutting and stitching. The name indicates its native place. Punjab Salwar is a loose tight trousers. It is wide at the top and narrow at the bottom. The waistline has enough foldings. The bottom cuff may be decorative. This has no joint from the top to the bottom. Kameez dupatta forms the upper wear with this garment. Normally, only the lower half of the salwar is visible as the remaining half is covered by the upper garment.
Paper pattern drafting. Measurements, materials, draw the pattern of Punjab Salwar on the brown sheet. Separate center piece, side piece. Instructions for master pattern. Add the given allowances to the paper pattern. Cut the excess brown sheet to get the master pattern of Punjab Salwar. Name the cut pattern components for future reference. Layout and cutting. Lay the fabric on the cutting table on widthwise folding with wrong side facing upwards. Arrange the master pattern of Punjab Salwar economically without wasting the fabric. Mark the outline of all Punjab Salwar components as laid with marking chalk. Cut along the cutting line with sharp shears. Pin all the layers of components together for stitching. Punjab Salwar stitching. Procedure. Join straight sides of side panel with center panel for both leg parts. Skill sequence number 1. Bottom finish. Cut 2 strips of canvas with 5 cm width and 38 cm length. Cut 2 pieces of cloth with 1 cm seam allowance all around. Turn 1 cm cloth over canvas strip and stitch 5 mm from edge. Place bottom strip over bottom of leg panel with right sides facing and stitch. Turn bottom strip towards underside. Wrong side of panel will match with wrong side of strip now. Stitch from right side at upper edge of bottom strip. Stitch inside leg lengths. Join crotch by double seam leaving 5 cm at waistline for opening of fold down casing. Skill sequence number 2. Finish waistline. From the wrong side of salwar, turn the unstitched raw edges which are left open on waist for fold down casing by 0.5 cm. Turn the top edge of salwar to wrong side by 1 cm. Again, turn fabric by 3.5 cm on wrong side basted and stitch with machine. Prepare a tying string of 1 to 1.5 cm width from balanced material. Length of string must be at least 15 cm longer than waistline. Trim off thread ends with trimmer. Finish and press.
In this exercise, you have studied how to draft, cut and stitch the Punjab Salwar with the skill sequences of bottom cuff making and finishing waistline. Now let us go to the next exercise. Exercise number 20 and 21. Salwar with waistband. Drafting cutting and stitching. This salwar is tight fitting from the waist to the seat line. Gathers are taken to the lower part while joining it to the waist piece and a narrow width at the ankles.
Paper pattern drafting. Measurements, materials, instructions for drafting. Draw the pattern of salwar with waistband using the given instructions. Separate side panel, center panel and waist belt pieces. Instructions for master pattern. Add the given allowances to the paper pattern and cut the excess brown sheet to get the master pattern components. Name the cut pattern components for future reference. Layout and cutting. Lay the fabric on the cutting table on widthwise folding with wrong side facing upwards. Arrange the master patterns of salwar with waistband economically without wasting the fabric. Mark the outline of all components as laid with marking chalk. Cut along the marking line with sharp shears. Salwar with waistband. Stitching. Procedure. Join straight sides of side panels with center panel for both leg parts. Make bottom cuff with stiffening. Give decorative stitches at the bottom cuff. Join crotch by double seam. Adjust the width of leg piece with belt piece by gathering the fabric between the marks. Note: first gather, then pin belt to leg piece and set additional gathers for adjustment in the same operation. Repeat the process for other leg. Match center front and center back of leg piece and belt. Stitch inside leg lengths. Finish by making fold down casing at top of belt. Prepare a tying string of 1 to 1.5 cm width from balanced material. Press the garment.
In this exercise, you have studied how to draft, cut and stitch salwars with a waistband. Now, let us see the next exercise. Exercise number 22 and 23. Surwar, drafting, cutting and stitching. Surwars are worn both by ladies and gents. These are tight-fitting trousers. It is cut wide at the top and narrow at angle in bias grain of fabric. This has tight-fitted bottomed ankle. The excess length falls into folds and appears like a set of bangles. The top part has a belt and pleats also, but not too loose like a salwar on top and seat.
Paper pattern drafting. Measurements. Materials. Instructions for drafting. Draw the pattern of front and back part of surwar on the brown sheet. Instructions for master pattern. Add the given allowances to the paper pattern and cut the excess brown sheet to get the master pattern components. Layout. For material calculation, use this formula. Surwar stitching. Skill sequence number 1. Bias bag. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the material for bag. 1 to 2 is the width and 1 to 4 is the length of cloth. Fold the material from center in length, that is at points 5 to 6. By this, we get the size 1, 4, 6 and 5. On line 1 to 4, measure from 5 and mark 7. That is width of bag. On line 2 to 3, measure from 6 and mark 8. 6 to 8 is equal to 5 to 7, which is equal to width of bag. Fold the lines. Fold the piece at 7 and 8. After the procedure, open the edges or on 7, 9, 8 and 10. Start stitching from 10. Join 10 to 8 to 9 with 10 to 7 to 9. Stitch at 1 to 5 and 4 to 6, allowing 1 cm seam allowance by double stitching. Take a cut at 5 and open up to 7, that is on width of bag. Repeat for other end of width, that is 6 to 8. Now you have prepared a cylinder. Roll the cylinder in such a way that the maximum joints are placed above knee. After finding the right position of cylinder, make the cylinder flat. Take care no wrinkles are there. The paper pattern has to be placed in opposite direction. Mark the stitch lines and fold lines. Mark and cut the cloth. Stitch inside leg length with tape seam. Take a piece of selvage or tape in straight grain. Place the fold of tape exactly on the inside leg seam line. Then stitch it straight on the line. While stitching, do not stretch the material. Taped seam is specially placed on stretch material and on bias joints to prevent stretching and breaking of seam thread. Join crotch by double seam. Prepare fold down casing. Turn bottom with narrow hem. Stitch hooks and eyes at bottom slit. Finish and press the surbar.
In this exercise, you have studied how to draft, cut and stitch surwar and how to make a bias bag. Now let us go to the next exercise. Exercise number 24 and 25. Parallels. Drafting, cutting and stitching. Parallel is a lengthy and loose salwar. It has a round, wide bottom. Its waist may be stitched with elastic. Belt is also attached with zip and hook and buckles.
Paper pattern drafting. Measurements, materials, instructions for drafting. Draw the pattern of parallels on the brown sheet. Separate leg part, pocket. Instructions for master pattern. Add the given allowances to the paper pattern and cut the excess brown sheet to get the master pattern components. Name the cut pattern components for future reference. Layout and cutting. Lay the fabric on the cutting table on length and widthwise folding with wrong side facing upwards. Arrange the master pattern of parallels economically without wasting the fabric. Cut along the marking line with sharp shears. Mark the stitch line and turnings. Pin all the layers of components together. Parallels stitching. Skill sequence number 1. In seam pocket. Cut notches on pocket piece, top and lower corner. Join the pocket pieces. Take parallel right leg front side and join pocket at position. Take parallel right leg back side and join pocket at position. Bring out the right side of parallels. Make top seam on the seam allowance side 2 mm away from the previous seam line. Place front and back side together and stitch pocket bottom shape. Turn the pocket inside and stitch it on top with front leg side. Fold the bottom side 1 cm, then 4 cm and stitch. Stitch inside leg lengths. Join crotch by double seam. Finish by making fold down casing at the top of parallels. Finish and press the garment.
Here you have studied the method of drafting, cutting and stitching of parallel salwar with the skill sequence of inseam pocket. Now let us move on to the next exercise. Exercise number 26 and 27. Patiala, drafting, cutting and stitching. It was a traditional garment of the Maharaja of Patiala in Punjab. Patiala is a pleated baggy type salwar. The fall of pleats goes back and looks like baggy with pleats. It is very comfortable to wear.
Paper pattern drafting. Measurements, materials, instructions for drafting. Draw the pattern of front and back part of patiala, separate waistband, centerpiece and kali piece. Instructions for master pattern. Add the given allowances to the paper pattern and cut the excess brown sheet to get the master pattern components. Name the cut pattern components for future reference. Layout and cutting. Lay the fabric on the cutting table on lengthwise folding with wrong side facing upwards. Arrange the master pattern of patiala economically without wasting the fabric. Mark the outline of all patiala components as laid with marking chalk. Cut along the marking line with sharp shears. Mark the stitch line and turnings on the fabrics. Pin all the layers of components together for stitching. Patiala stitching. Join straight sides of side piece with kali piece for both leg parts. Make bottom cuff with stiffening. fold and stitch the bottom line. Take two bell pieces with right side together, join that in one side, stitch 10 cm below from the top of the waistline and join the belt. Fold fabric on waistline for fold down casing by 1 cm and then 4 cm on wrong side and stitch it. Cut notches at bottom of waist belt center side back. Stitch inside leg lengths on both sides. Join crotch by double seam. Prepare knife pleats on top of the leg piece and tag. Fold the outside facing knife pleats on both legs. Stitch the knife pleats on both legs. Note: pleats should be stitched only on front side. It should face opposite direction to get cowl effect. Tag waist belt center, front and back notches to crotch line with right sides together. Adjust the width of leg piece with front belt piece by stitching small knife pleats between the marks. Stitch around the waist belt, remove the basting. Finish and press the patiala.
In this exercise, you have learned how to draft, cut and stitch the patiala salwar. Now let us go to the next exercise. Exercise number 28 and 29, bell bottom salwar, drafting, cutting and stitching. Bell bottomed salwars are commonly worn both by men and women. It has a narrow knee and a flat bottom called bell. It is tight fitting from the waistline to the knee and loose at the bottom. The waist may be finished with the belt and a zipper placket on the left side.
Paper pattern drafting. Measurements, materials, instructions for drafting. Draw the pattern of bell bottom salwar. Separate back part, front part and waist part. Instructions for master pattern. Add the given allowances to the paper pattern and cut the excess brown sheet to get the master pattern components. Name the cut pattern components for future reference. Layout and cutting. Lay the fabric on the cutting table on open laying with wrong side facing upwards. Arrange the master pattern of bell bottom economically without wasting the fabric. Cut along the marking line with sharp shears. Mark all stitching lines and notches on the components. Mark the back dart. Pin all the layers of components together for stitching. Bell-bottom salwar stitching. Take left side, front and back leg part, right sides matching together. Start stitching from lower placket. Mark band continues the stitch up to the bottom with double row of stitches. Stitch the zip at placket position using zipper foot. Skill sequence 1. Inside leg seam. Take right side, front and back leg part. Baste the inner leg seam. Back piece of garment has to overlap the front piece by 1 cm at raw edges. Stitch along basting line with machine. Turn the garment to right side. Stitch along the baste line. Turn overlapping edge of back side to front side, then stitch it. Join the crotch by double seam. Stitch the darts. Stitch the belt at the waist. Finish the bottom by hem folder. Fix hook and eye on the belt. Finish and press.
In this exercise, you have studied the drafting, cutting and stitching of bell-bottomed salwar with the skill sequence of inside leg seam. Now let us go to the next exercise. Exercise number 30. Dhoti salwar, drafting, cutting and stitching. Dhoti salwar is loose at the thigh with the cowl effect and very tight at the ankle. Cowl effect at the sides is the speciality of dhoti salwar. Cowl effect can be brought by stitching pleats at the waist. Dhoti salwar will have a belt so that the cowl pleats at the waist can be arranged from the belt.
Paper pattern drafting. Measurements. Materials. Guide for cutting. Fold the material crosswise. So, the crosswise grain falls on the length of the salwar. AB is equal to length of salwar minus width of the belt, that is 39 inches. Keep B to B1 2.5 inches to touch below the angle. A to C is equal to length of fork from waist minus belt width, that is 11 minus 1, which is 10 inches. A to J is equal to 1.5 inches. A to F is equal to breadth of material, that is 45 inches. B1 to F is fold on cross grain. Shape B to B1. B1 to G is 6 to 7 inches. Opening for the bottom of the salwar. Keep ½ inch for seam allowance from B1 to C and J to F. F to H is equal to 5 inches. Cut the crotch line C to J. Cut B to B1 curve shape. Dhoti salwar stitching. Fold with ½ inch seam allowance and stitch the bottom round. Make pleats at the front hip round on leg piece. Measure the pleated hip round. Join the inside leg length. Attach the belt piece with pleated hip round. Press the dhoti salwar.
Students, in this exercise, you have learnt how to draft, cut and stitch the dhoti salwar. Now, let us go to the next exercise.
नमस्कार, आपका स्वागत है इसी लैंग्वेज के तीसरे अध्याय में